This is the Langkawi airport in Malaysia, and welcome to my new vlog on Langkawi. Hiring a taxi at the airport, we started for the sightseeing. The island landscape looked so lush and green, and in 15 minutes we reached the first destination, which was the Oriental Village. Located at the foothills of the Machin Chang mountain, it is a beautifully themed open-air lifestyle mall known for its Langkawi cable car and the sky bridge. Had breakfast and got into the cable car. The cable car takes the passengers up the Mount Machin Chang. It was really a spectacular and an exhilarating experience riding to the top over the cool forested slopes of Mount Machin Chang. These gondolas travel at a distance of 70 meters above the canopy of forests. Sitting in it, we got a wonderful glimpse of the flora and fauna that surrounds the area. There are 3 stations for the cable car in its entire 2.2 kilometer stretch. The top station, located at the peak of Mount Machin Chang, is the second highest peak of Langkawi at 709 meters above sea level. The slope between the base station and the middle station is said to be one of the steepest in the world at 42 degrees. It is also said to have the longest free span for a mono cable car at 950 meters. This is something to give a goosebump if you can get the gist. In 15 minutes of ride, covering 1.7 kilometers in the gondola, we reached the middle station at an elevation of 650 meters above sea level. A short climb to the viewing deck from the middle station offers a great panoramic view of the main island as well as many small surrounding islands. We can also get a close view of the unique flora on the ridges and the forested valley between the middle station and the top station. As you may notice, at this station, the gondolas take a 90-degree turn to reach the top station. You may also get a glimpse of the sky bridge from here. The weather here is extremely unpredictable, and it was really an inexplicable sight of gondolas moving between these stations through the thick clouds. From the middle station, we reached the top station. Sometimes, the cable car operations are shut in case of bad weather, especially if there is a possibility of strong wind. But fortunately, it was operational on that day even in this foggy weather. It was a very rare and an interesting sight to see these sky cabs arriving one after another out of the thick clouds to the platform. We simply kept watching it for some time. There are 35 normal gondolas and a few VIP ones, each of which can carry 6 people. In total, it can transport approximately 700 to 800 passengers per hour. The top station gives access to 2 circular wooden viewing platforms, namely the north deck and the south deck. Each of these decks unfold a magnificent 360-degree view of this entire region, with an incredible sight of the Strait of Malacca in the Andaman Sea, the nature monuments covering deep chasms, the overhanging cliffs, and the isolated pinnacles. Langkawi is an archipelago of 99 islands in the Strait of Malacca, located around 30 kilometers off the northwest coast of Malaysia, beautifully surrounded by the turquoise sea. You won't believe it was actually around 10 in the morning, though it looked this dark and foggy. We really enjoyed this heavenly ambience out there. The sky bridge is another prominent attraction at the top station, but it was closed due to some reasons. You may send a personalized souvenir postcard from this spot. Later, we took the cable car back and explored this beautiful village. Its landscape, the buildings, the lake, the bridges and the surrounding mountains presented a very striking picturesque location. Spread around are many souvenir shops plus a few local and international restaurants. From here, we took another taxi to the Kilim Geoforest Park. We took the ticket for the river cruise and waited at the office-cum-boat jetty for our turn, enjoying the nature out there. The blue boats moving in the river also produced a pleasing visual combination. Langkawi was just a fishing village before it was endorsed as the 52nd Global Geopark by UNESCO in 2007, making it the first geopark in Southeast Asia due to its diverse geoheritage features like landscapes, mangroves, sea caves, sea stacks, limestones, fossils, etc. The easiest and a leisurely way to discover the secrets of the mangrove forest and its vast wildlife is by a boat cruise. After a short wait, our crew came and we all got into the boat with lots of excitement and enthusiasm. On the opposite side, you may notice a long wooden walking trail through the dense mangroves. This is the first stop in the cruise for exploring the bat caves. It is a dark cave with a colony of bats hanging from the cave ceiling. Lots of big and small stalactites presented a very rare sight. The cave opens to an expansive mangrove swamp with a beautiful wooden walking trail which we saw earlier from the boat. It was an outstanding location and boosted up our energy. The boat was waiting at the end of this walking trail and we continued the cruise out in the river. It started drizzling first and within no time it turned into a heavy downpour. As the boat was open on all its sides, we also started getting wet and the whole ambience looked so scary which ultimately made us a little bit nervous. The crew was very supportive and slowly we all started enjoying this thrilling cruise. Spanning almost 100 square kilometers, the environment looked so massive, incredible and mighty with strong river currents, dense mangroves and the majestic limestone hills eroded by dissolution, producing ridges, towers, fissures and sinkholes. Many of these limestone formations have got unique names such as the Temple of Borobudur, the Elephant Stone, the Hanging Gardens, etc. Numerous caves filled with fossils as well as gigantic stalagmites and stalactites are also worth seeing. As you may also notice, it is in fact a massive ecosystem characterized by high biodiversity. The most commonly spotted wildlife ranges from otters and monitor lizards to macaques and tree crabs hiding amongst the thick mangroves. It is said that during the migratory seasons from September to March, the presence of diverse bird life can also be seen. At a distance, we saw a long row of floating houses in a secluded cove surrounded by the limestone cliffs. Saw a cute windboat anchored close to it, which was a rare sight for me. Later, our boat slowly nosed into this floating platform for a brief stop, which was a fish farm. We walked around the fish farm to see many water tanks where different species of fishes were kept. It was interesting to watch the hand feeding of the stingrays. These are actually tamed ones and even we can feed them, but we didn't try as it looked a bit horrifying, especially when it waves splashing their way through. The guy continued moving from one tank to the next, feeding the fishes. This entire floating platform is made up of timber. Though it was raining continuously, these rare experiences and the picturesque scenery around kept us energized and we continued enjoying it every second. We resumed the cruise and reached the Crocodile Cave, which is a natural tunnel in the limestone. and is navigable during low tide conditions. Kayaking is yet another adventure activity here. The kayakers were moving so fast in this intense water current, and it was an excellent sight. Then we had a very interesting eagle feeding session. The crew took us to a location in the river, stopped the engine and threw some meat pieces out into the water, making some sounds to attract them. As per him, at this moment, generally we can see eagles diving down very close to us and clawing up the meat pieces and eating them as they soar into the sky. A few started flying around us, but none came near to us. This delicately balanced ecosystem is an important part of the Andaman Sea. Continued our exploration, taking twists and turns, navigating through this very complex and extraordinary maze created by tree roots, mangroves, and limestone hills. Finally, we ventured out into the Andaman Sea. This is a very famous limestone formation resembling a tortoise with the Kilim geoforest written over it. The cruise ended with a trip around this horseshoe island from where we could spot the Thailand town bordering Malaysia. By then, it was 2 p.m. and we left to Kuala, where we had booked our stay. After a short rest at the hotel, we went out walking to explore the place. Spent some time in the Legenda Park close by. Later, we walked to the Langkawi Fair shopping mall, did some shopping, had dinner and returned to the hotel, ending a long day with lots of fun-filled and adventurous experiences. The next day, we went to the Eagle Square, which is one of the prominent landmarks in Kuala. It is a wide open square overlooking the Strait of Malacca with a large sculpture of an eagle at the tip of it. The square offers a wonderful view of the Kuala Bay. This eagle sculpture is one of the most instantly recognizable monuments of Langkawi. The Grand Bay, surrounded by the beautiful mountains, nicely looking hotels with private beaches towards the sea, and a lot of ferries plying across the harbour, made the location very lively and gorgeous. As per the traditional beliefs, Langkawi came from two Malay words, Helang, which means eagle, and Kawi, meaning reddish brown. This could be the reason behind this appealing statue of the reddish brown eagle. From the Eagle Square, we resumed our journey to the next destination, which was the bird paradise. Langkawi is only around 480 square kilometers in area, and it takes only an hour or max 2 to drive around this whole island, covering roughly around 100 kilometers. A valid driving license issued at the home country is enough to drive in Langkawi. Hence, generally, tourists opt for car rentals to enjoy the island to the fullest extent. Moreover, the island has got good roads which are not crowded too. There were few small towns en route, and rental cars would help us connect with the locals and get to know more about the island and its culture. It would also help us save a lot of time waiting for the taxis. In 10 minutes, we reached this tropical garden with walking aviary. I truly enjoyed the park, interacting with the colorful lovebirds, macaws, hornbills, etc. Many of them fly freely in the garden and are caged in sections, strongly resembling each of their natural habitats. It has got over 2000 plus exotic birds from around 100 plus species. The whole park is impressively landscaped with plants, trees, ponds, bridges, and waterfalls with nice color themes that blend perfectly with the nature. Most of the visitors spent a lot of time near this artificial waterfalls, enjoying the serene ambience of this tropical paradise. It is really an ideal place for families and animal lovers. These white flamingos looked very elegant and gorgeous. The ostriches seemed very friendly with the visitors. The park provides a very unique opportunity to feed and interact with these great giants of the bird kingdom. Surprisingly, there was also a crystal gallery here showcasing an extensive display of raw and even crafted crystals. From there, we left to the underwater world, which is claimed as Malaysia's largest aquarium spread across 6 acres, with the sub-Antarctic section being probably the most popular. These are the Harbour Seals, extremely adapted to the freezing conditions and often plunges into the water to stay in low temperatures. They are carnivorous creatures and eat fish, krill or squid depending on its type. These are black-footed penguins generally seen in South African waters. We tried playing with it for some time as it was sinking with the movements of the bottle. The main characteristic is the narrow horseshoe-shaped black band across the chest which extends down on each side till the feet. You may also notice pink patches of skin above the eyes. These are pink glands that help them for thermoregulation to adapt to the changing temperatures. Basically, blood is sent to these glands to be cooled by the air. Here is yet another type of penguin called the rock hoppers. Saw spotted stingrays gracefully maneuvering in the water by undulating their body like a wave. This is the royal blue tang, which became famous as Dory in the classic children's movie Finding Nemo. Though Dory is hopelessly forgetful in the movie, in reality it is said to have no memory loss and in fact helps protect the fragile coral reefs. Here is the lionfish with distinctive brown and white stripes or bands covering the head and the body. They are carnivorous nocturnal hunters with spines that can deliver a venomous sting. These gelatinous creatures drifting through the water are the jellyfishes. They have a very peculiar body with umbrella-shaped pulsating bills and long trailing tentacles. Many jellyfishes possess this magical ability of bioluminescence. These marvelous creatures are the sea horses. They are seen in an upright posture with the head and neck resembling that of a horse and are typically found in shallow, tropical and temperate saltwater regions and live in sheltered areas such as seagrass beds, coral reefs, mangroves, etc. What you are seeing is one of the most diverse ecosystems on the planet, namely the coral reefs. By this time it was noon. Had lunch at an Indian restaurant close to the famous Pantai Senang beach in Langkawi. Got a lovely glimpse of the beach right from the restaurant itself. This was in fact the last destination planned after the lunch before we fly back to KL. Though there were warning signs of box jellyfish attacks in the beach, it was hard to resist the temptation to get into the water. The entire shoreline is fringed by powder-fine sand and swaying coconut trees. The beach is also famous for many adventurous activities like parasailing, where the parachute with you is pulled by the boat with a long towing rope. It is not that easy to run and synchronize during this takeoff. After this, we left to the airport, ending our 2 unforgettable days in this exceptional tropical gem that hides a treasure trove of endless opportunities for both the nature lovers and the adventure enthusiasts. Thank you for traveling with me. Please also watch my other travel vlogs. The links are given in the description below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And please click the notification bell to get more videos.